Hello everyone, my name is Novelin Magdalena Anggrecia Tesalonika. I'm from Bandung Institute of Technology, School of Business and Management. So on this presentation, I'm going to highlight about the impact of social media marketing attributes on the purchase intention of Indonesia's local beauty line. So here's the presentation outline. So first about the research background, followed by literature review, methodology, data collection, conclusion, and then the limitation. So for the research background, the main questions that this paper would answer is the fact that how do different attributes of social media marketing becomes preferable in helping customers develop purchase intent and behavior. And in order to answer that core question, the main objectives of this research is to identify or comparing the different social media marketing attributes in which it has a significant impact on the purchase intention of Indonesia's local beauty line. And second is to recommend social media marketing attributes to use for Indonesia's local beauty line in order to be able to communicate effectively with its target audience. And third is about to find out the difference between the perceived impact of social media marketing attributes and boosting the purchase intention of Indonesia's local beauty line. So first is about the literature review. So there are three main components to develop the section. First is the problem statement. It's the fact that there's a sudden transformation as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. So it's basically this result has adverse impact on beauty industry, especially with the fact that currently people do not go out as often as before due to remote working conditions, and there's an obligation to wear a mask in public areas. And this is also supported by the fact that the emergence of digital marketing, or the fact that it can help businesses to boost purchase intention in customers, but not many businesses, especially with the local small businesses that's in early stages and do not yet have their own store, do not really realize how impactful this marketing technique can be in driving them a revenue and building a more loyal customers towards their brand. And lastly is about the social media utilization in marketing. The fact that social media has a very strong power and share real testimony or personal experiences of customer, it can drive businesses in achieving brand loyalty from their customers, purchase intention, and customer behavior. And then we go to the methodology. So first is about the data collection. So since this research was conducted remotely, this questionnaire was distributed through social media platform. And I utilized Google Forms to obtain the primary data. And within the Google Forms, I utilized 3 different question forms, which are multiple choice, short answers, and the 5 Likert scales to make the respondent gets an easier access to be able to give their point of view towards some of the highlight I put on the questionnaires. And for the population and sample, it was mainly answered by a female and male population with the age above 15 years old. And those people were Indonesia's local beauty line consumers. And after the data was gathered, the way it was being analyzed is by using one-way ANOVA with help of SPSS software. It was quantitatively done. And for this research, the independent variable is the social media marketing attributes, and for the dependent variable is the purchase intention. So as for the methodology, I divided this analysis into two different ways. First is the on variable level, and second is at the attributes level. So what are the attributes and what are the variables? So the attributes are, you can see it on the first column. So there are 6 different attributes. First is the electronic word of mouth. Second is the level of interactivity. Third is about the influencer attributes. Fourth is the knowledge sharing. Fifth is the trust, and sixth is the personalized experiences. So those are the attributes that I want to assess in this research. However, each of the attributes has different variables. As you can see here, trust has 3 different variables, as you can see on the sentences there. And each of the sentences is coded using, for example, for trust, we use TR1, TR2, and TR3 to get an easier access to analyze in later slides. So first is about the data collections and analysis. First, to make it easier and to obtain data and who actually responds to the questionnaires. So I divided into the different gender, age, and occupation. For the gender, we see that the respondents were mainly female by almost 80%. And as for the age, we see that most of the respondents are above 34 years old, up to 60%, and followed by 25 to 34 years old age by 32%. And as for the occupation, we see that most of them are employees by 40%, and followed by college students and that unemployed personnel. And for we go to the descriptive analysis. So this is on variable indicators level. It's not on attributes level. So according to the mean, the highest lays on the WOM3, and then the lowest is at WOM2. So if we go back to the previous slides, we see that WOM2 is the fact that I would like to pass out information about my experience of using a certain product or services on social media. And WOM3 is the fact that I perceive the review made by other customers on social media to be influential in my purchase intention. So as WOM3 turns out to have the highest when it comes to the mean on or average compared to other variables, we see that it's true that customer perceive review by others to be very influential in deriving sales or in driving them to want to purchase a certain product in a particular brand. However, it doesn't necessarily directly link to their willingness to share their own experience of using a certain product. That's why WOM2 becomes the least when it comes to the mean number. And then if we go back, other than mean, I analyzed using the standard deviation. So according to the standard deviation, the lowest is at the is IN3 or the interactivity. It means that IN3 variable is the variable with the least right answer. What does that mean? So if we go back to IN3 variable, so IN3 variable is I found social media promotion entertaining so that it makes me stay updated with the latest product or services offered. So it means that most of the respondents agree. So this statement is where the respondents agree the most. So that if you want to conclude from that result, we can conclude that overall, Indonesia's local beauty product purchasers find that entertainment resulting from engaging social media content has a significant influence on them to stay updated regarding product launching. So we can agree that entertainment resulting from engaging social media content can be one of the influential aspects of social media that can help driving customers in purchase intention. And then next is the descriptive analysis, but on the attributes level. So before it's in the variable level, now it's in attributes level. So based on the mean, we found that electronic word of mouth and influencer attributes remain to be the highest when it comes to the compared to other social media attributes. And therefore, according to the mean, both the EWOM or electronic word of mouth and influencer attributes share the greatest influence on the purchase intention of Indonesia's local beauty product customers. And according to the standard deviation, we see that influencer attributes remain to be the highest, which means that it is the attributes where respondents are or the least right answer. So most of the respondents share similar answer when it comes to influential attributes, whereas the lowest standard deviation lies in personalized experience. So it means that according to the standard deviation results, Indonesia's local beauty product customers have a similar opinion regarding the impact of experience personalization, whereas the influencer attributes impact remain to be the most debatable. And then we go to the statistical analysis using the ANOVA test. If you see the table, when the significant value is lower than the confidence level, there is enough evidence to conclude that there is a difference in the perceived usefulness of the social media attribute, so that those attributes can then further assessed. So we go further to post hoc test to key HSD. So according to the subset, so we basically divided the social media attributes to two different subsets so that we can see which one, which social media attributes share different results compared to the other, or is there significant difference. So according to this table, we see that yes, it's true that there's a significant difference. We see that electronic word of mouth turns out to be more influential, and also influencer attributes turned out to be more influential than other social media attributes, or the level of interactivity, knowledge sharing, trust, personalized and personalized experiences. So according to that, we see that we could implement some of these ideas on the table here in the managerial recommendation and implication table. So first, we could utilize influencer collaboration. So this is believed to have some kind of like virality effect that can help create awareness in larger market. And for the implication, we could try to do social media live streaming and then limited edition product launching. And that's for the influencer collaboration example. And then we go next to the community development. So by building a community development, a brand can utilize its current loyal customer to help them spread their positive experiences using the product. Because we found that it's true that electronic word of mouth plays a greater role in shaping that trust in other customer, especially to the future customers or the customers who have not really tasted your product or tried your product before, so that you can utilize your current loyal customer to share their positive experiences. And this could be done by building a membership. So we can let people who already have been loyal members get extra benefits. So people can see that there's a point for them sharing their own experiences, not just for the brand, but also for themselves. And then here are some of the limitations I found from the research. So we see here that implementing online survey could lead to potential biases because the respondents are considered uncharacterized population, and then it could also lead to survey fraud or fake answers from long questions. And then third is the less reliable data or lack of trained interviewee. And then it could be also insufficient data. As we know, Indonesia is a very large country, and by gaining participant that's I would say less than 1,000, it could mean that we could lack in male perspective. We could lacking in male perspectives or lack of previous research. As I previously mentioned, there were researchers conducted similar studies, but most of them were mainly conducted abroad or outside of Indonesia, so that lack of previous research may lead to insufficient data in order to deriving or arriving at a particular or answering the questions for this paper. And then third is the opt-in data may not represent the whole market. It could also it could be that most of the respondents came from very similar geographical location, whereas Indonesia is a very large country. So that's one of the good point where insufficient data could lead to like a certain limitation in this research. And then future as for the future research, we could provide more element to assess in each of the social media attributes or the different variables. We could add more different variables in the social media attributes, and then we can focus more on the possible value co-creation behavior arising from digital marketing practices. Or instead of cross-sectional, we could try conducting a longitudinal study so that we could compare it from time to time, the different customer or the different customers' behavior in different time period. And then lastly is to make the research to be more specific in terms of the location. So by narrowing down the location, we can see a more accurate or a more representative answers. And that's it for my presentation. Thank you for your attention. And you can contact me via this phone number and also from this email address if you want to ask for more details about this paper or about this research. Thank you for listening.